Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. What I'm looking at is a beer from Heavy Seas Beer. They are out of Baltimore, Maryland, established in 1995, so they've been around for a little while. I've heard about this beer before, but never had it. This is the Greater Pumpkin. This is a 2021 bottling, so got about a year on the age with this one. It was bottled on November 21st. Actually, that's the Best By date. The Best By date is November 24th. No, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself one more time. This was bottled on November 24th of 2021. So over a year old. 10% alcohol by volume. This is a bourbon barrel aged pumpkin ale. It says pumpkin ale brewed with pumpkin and spices aged in bourbon barrels. So, what did I say? 10%? Yes, 10% alcohol by volume. Notes of vanilla, oak, pumpkin, and flavors of autumnal spice. All right, so let's hope that this is good. I think a 10% barrel-aged beer should age pretty well. The thing with this being that it's a pumpkin beer, it'll be interesting to see if the pumpkin notes are there, if they faded, or what the deal is with that. But I've heard a lot of good things about this beer, so let's go ahead and pour it up. And I don't think I've ever had anything from Heavy Seas Beer Company out of Baltimore, Maryland before. So this should be my first Heavy Seas beer. All right. The Greater Pumpkin does look like a pumpkin ale. It's a nice copper color, kind of a little bit of a haze to it. Not much of a head. I'd say about a half finger off-white head. The aroma, very malt-oriented on the nose. Some caramel, toasted bread notes. A little bit of that pumpkin spice, maybe some cinnamon, nutmeg coming through. But it's actually pretty light on the pumpkin aromas. It does smell like a really good, ale, spiced ale. And some of that oak and vanilla is coming through. It kind of has a little bit of a barrel vibe to it. It doesn't smell like 10% alcohol at all, which is nice. But it smells nice. Nice and malty. If you like malty beers, this would be one to go for, because it's got a lot of that caramel malt action coming through on the aroma. Smells good. Without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers. That's really nice. Getting a little bit of that spiced bread note, like a cinnamon and the nutmeg are coming through from the pumpkin spice. But there's a nice brown bread, or almost like a pumpernickel or a rye. There's a little bit of a spice to it as well. Yeah, very bready. Very bready. A little bit of that oak is coming through, those barrel notes, touch of vanilla, but it's more of the woody character from the barrel, the oak, just a slight vanilla. The pumpkin pie spices are definitely there, but they're not overpowering. I wonder if this was really fresh, if I'd be getting more pumpkin and pumpkin pie spice notes. I think probably that would be the case. But this is mellowed out nicely over the course of a year, and it really just allows a lot of that really good malt presentation to come through. The finish is drying. It's really not warming going down. There's not anything to really indicate that this is a higher alcohol beer. It's nice. For a pumpkin beer, it's probably a good one to start with, or one of the higher alcohol ones to start with, because it's not overpowering with the pumpkin pie spice. And if you like barrel-aged beers, you get a little bit of that. So it's a nice, easy drinking beer for a 10% beer, but there's really nothing that pops, that really jumps out at you with the pumpkin spice. It's just very, very subtle, which I think is a nice, refreshing quality in a pumpkin beer, because a lot of them are just really heavily spiced with the cinnamon, nutmeg, the pumpkin pie spices, allspice, and they tend to overpower or be the primary tasting note in the beer. And after you have a few, they're kind of all the same. This one has a lot to offer with the beer flavor, the roasted malt and the caramel and the brown bready, spiced bread type notes that you're getting with this one. Really enjoyable beer. Um, this is a tough one. Let me get another sip. A little bit more of that cinnamon came through on that sip. This really is an excellent beer. Is it my favorite pumpkin beer? No. Is it my favorite barrel-aged pumpkin beer? No. There's a lot of barrel-aged pumpkin beers that are stronger, more pronounced with the barrel and the pumpkin flavors, and kind of set those pumpkin beers, at a level above this one. But this is kind of like a milder version of like the Pumpkin or one of the stronger pumpkin beers, barrel-aged pumpkin beers. Very enjoyable. I'm going to go 93 out of 100, just kind of getting into that solid A range. Very mellow and easy drinking. So if you want an enjoyable barrel-aged pumpkin beer that's going to give you pretty good flavor notes without being overpowering and inoffensive, this is one to go for. The Greater Pumpkin from Heavy Seas Beer out of Baltimore, Maryland. Buy it, try it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. 93 out of 100 for the Greater Pumpkin 2021 bottling. That'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.